Did you hear the story about the girl who said her son is her ex-boyfriend's brother? And it's so crazy how that happened. So she said she was about 18 years old trying to go away for college, and her parents didn't want her to go because they knew that she was trying to go move out with her boyfriend. But she didn't listen. She went out of town, moved out with her boyfriend about an hour and a half away from home. And she said things were going fine. They was having a blast. She enrolled in school. She got a good job, and she was really excited about it. Her boyfriend's father lived in the city too, and he was like a cool dad, so they could go over, party with him, hang out with him and everything. And he was just one of them, one of their friends. Eventually, she finds out that her boyfriend is cheating on her with her best friend, who was also dating his best friend. So of course she's upset. She go off on him, get mad. He get mad at her and tell her, well, guess what? You gonna get mad at me? Then how about you need to leave? And he kicks her out of his house. Now remember, she out of town. She's nowhere near her family. She don't want to call her mom and tell her, things fell apart because her parents already told her things was gonna fall apart. So she didn't. She's sitting there. She's thinking about what she gonna do because she's homeless. And she decides to call her boyfriend. Let's call him Steve. Her boyfriend's father. His name. Let's call him Mark. So she calls Mark and, says, I need to talk to an adult. I'm going through some things right now. He's like, that's fine. Come on over. Come sit and talk with me. She goes and sits and talks to him. And she's telling him, oh, he kicked me out. He's cheating on me. And Mark is like, oh, Steve is such a terrible person. I got to talk to him. He needs to be a better man than that. And he's like, you know what? I live right here in this house by myself. It's 3 bedrooms. I don't have nobody. Why don't you come and rent a room from me? And in fact, you don't even have to pay nothing up front. You can take a little bit of time, keep your money to yourself until you can move out. I don't have no problem with that. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. So she goes and gets her stuff and she brings it into his house and she moves in. She continues to go to school. She continues to go to work. But she's noticing that, every time she wakes up in the morning, she's feeling sick. She's throwing up all the time. Every time she's in class, she's like, I don't know what's going on with me. And every night she's having these crazy nightmares about somebody attacking her. And she don't know what is going on. So she goes and she talks to him. She's like, Mark, I'm having these crazy nightmares. Are you hearing me in there screaming and fighting for my life? And he's like, I don't hear anything. So she says she's continued to go about her days and still feeling sick every day, still feeling foggy, and she don't know what happened. And out of the blue, she wakes up and she's in the hospital. And the doctors are surrounding her and they're telling her, hey, just want to let you know. She wakes up and they're like, just want to let you know your baby is fine and your husband is fine. And she's like, baby? Husband, what are y'all talking about? And they're like, what do you mean? Your husband's out there. You're pregnant. Your baby is fine. It's a boy. She's like, I'm having a baby. I don't have a husband. And they're like, yes, you do. Calm down. Calm down. We'll be back with you shortly. So she's waiting, and into the door walks her ex-boyfriend's father, Mark. And he's like, baby, everything's going to be all right. And telling the people that that's his wife. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? They check out the hospital. He takes her back home. And she's like, I don't understand this. I don't understand what's going on. And he's like, well, you don't have to. He locks her in the room. He tells her, you gonna stand there. I'll feed you what you need to be fed so my baby will be okay. She's like, your baby? What do you mean your baby? And he's like, never mind about that. Just stay in this room. And he locks her in there. As time goes by, it's time for her to go back to the doctor. Now, originally at the doctor's appointment, she had been visited by a social worker because they had found a bunch of drugs in her system. And they figured she was like an addict. But she said she wasn't. She don't do all that stuff that they was naming all these different cocktails and stuff. And she said she don't understand how they got in her system. And they told her every time that she comes back, she has to check in and do more tests because if those substances don't get out her system, then she's going to lose her baby. So now, of course, as she's sitting at home, she's not She's not taking anything and nothing's getting in her system anymore. So she goes back to the doctor, and on the way there, he's telling her, "Don't tell them that you and you locked in the room. And if you act right, then I'll let you call your mom, and I won't lock you back in the room." And she's like, "Okay." So she takes his word. She goes in there. She doesn't tell the doctor. Of course, the tests come back negative. There's nothing in her system. When they go back home, he says, "Okay, you can call your mom." And he's watching her while she calls her mom, and her mom is like, "Hey, how you doing, baby?" And she's like, "Mom, I don't understand. They're saying that I'm married, but I don't remember getting married. Why are they saying that?" And her mom's like, "What do you mean? You are married. Me and your dad came to the courthouse with you to watch you marry Mark, and we decorated the nursery for the new baby." And she's like, "What? I don't remember any of that." And her mom's like, "Are you sure? Maybe you just need some rest. Maybe you just need some rest." And they hang up. And she was trying to get her mom to come visit, but he kept interrupting, saying, "No, we about to go to the beach for a week, so they need to come another time." So she hangs up feeling defeated, like, I don't understand. How could I forget getting married? Why would I marry him, this old man? Why would I even want to be a part of this? He ends up locking her in the room again, and this time she's like, "No, I'm gonna get out." She's looking out the window. There's a window, and she sees an elderly lady come outside all the time. So she's like, "As soon as he leaves, I'm gonna scream and let this lady come in and help me." And he leaves, and she does. She screams and screams. The lady hears her, and the lady's with her son. They come over to the window, and she's like, "He's locked me in the room. He's beating me. He's hurting me. Please help me get out." And they're like, "Well, we can't help you get out, but we can call the police." So they call the police. The police come over to the window and is talking to her through the window, and she's like, "Please, he locked me in here, please let me out." So she says it's such a small town that everybody knows everybody, and they're like, "He locked you in there? All right, hold on." And they call him, "Mark, what's going on? This lady saying she locked her in the room." And he's like, "Oh no, I'm 10 minutes away. It's fine. You can go." And they're like, "No, we want to make sure that she's okay." They get inside, they pull her out the room. She's telling them, "He's beating me. Look at the bruises on me. He's locking me in the room." And he's like, No. She's schizophrenic. Look at the paperwork." He had lied and told the doctors that she was schizophrenic, and they put it in the notes. And now he got proof. So now he can do whatever he wants to her, and they're gonna believe him. So the police leave her right there with him. He locks them right back up in that room. But she said, okay, she gonna wait to her next doctor's appointment. He's like, "You better behave at this next doctor's appointment, or you're not coming out that room." She's like, "Okay." She goes into the next doctor's appointment. She's like, "Please let this lady believe me. Please don't let this lady dismiss me." She goes and she tells the lady, she goes and tells her, "I would like to speak to you alone." And the lady looks at him, and she's like, "Look, I'm an adult. Whether or not y'all say I'm mentally ill, whether or not y'all believe me, I am an adult. I want to talk to you alone." And the doctor said, "Okay, you need to leave." And he leaves, and she tells the doctor everything. "He's been beating me. He's keeping me locked up." And the doctor believes her. And the doctor's like, "Okay, here, you want to call your mom?" She's like, "Yes." And she calls her mom, and she says, "Mom, please come get me. It's almost, it's an emergency. Come and pick me up now." Her mom don't ask no questions and says, "Yes, I'm coming." So her mom finally comes. She goes back to the house with him and manages to stall long enough to get back to the house. The mom comes and picks her up and takes her out of there. Then she explains to her mom everything that was going on. And then her mom helps her file for a divorce, and they go back to the house to get her stuff. And while they're there, they see he has another girl at the house. And a few months later, they learn that he is now in prison because he had imprisoned that same girl. He said her son is fine, 19 now. He's never met his father because after his father got out of prison, he was taking so many substances that he ended up having a heart attack himself. And she says she don't care. Her son is fine. He's happy. She's happy. But it was like the most traumatizing thing to go through. But she don't care because she got her son out of it and she loved him.